Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second day of Denim Futures Conference and Showcase. For those who are joining us online, I'd like to extend our heartiest welcome to you. On behalf of the Mills Fabrica, I'd like to say thank you for taking time to attend the conference today. Yesterday, we have covered quite a wide range of topics. I'm sure all of us have enjoyed very insightful panel discussions and keynote presentations. And today, we will continue to explore how to transform our beloved denims into a more sustainable future. I'd like to also take this opportunity to remind you of the latest project that will soon be released by the Mills Fabrica. It's called Reinventing the Future of Jeans. Now let's take a look at the teaser video together. So, as mentioned by Vanessa yesterday, this project is a collaborative project between the Mills Fabrica and some leading industry experts and innovators across the whole denim supply chain. It is hoped that we can showcase by how weaving existing innovative technologies into jeans production, we can help produce and create a more sustainable denim system. So if you're interested in this project, please don't hesitate to let us know by scanning the QR code on the screen right now to fill out a Google form to let us know your contact details. And we'll reach out to you and share with you the details of the project, and you'll be the first to be notified of the release. So for those who were here yesterday, we've covered quite a number of topics, from denim culture and market trends to ESG sustainability, regulations, as well as circularity and digitalization in denim. So let's take a look at today's agenda. As you can see on the screen, we'll start today with a conversation on life cycle assessment, LCA workshop, followed by a panel discussion on upcycling denim. Then we'll take a lunch break. Our event and conference will resume at 1:30 with the showcase area at the back. And at 2 p.m., we will have a panel discussion on next-gen fiber and fabrics. We'll then take a short coffee break, followed by two other panel discussions, namely next-gen sustainable innovations and next-gen talent. We'll end the day with a networking cocktail section, and you can take this time to network with each other and mingle with each other to explore future cooperation opportunities. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's first section. We will be delivering a conversation on how we can put life cycle assessment into perspective. To briefly introduce, LCA can be used to formulate operational and policy-making strategies for solid waste management and should reach science-based goals. So now, without further ado, let's invite the two speakers to come onto the stage. They are Jenny Chan, Senior Director of Product Design and Development for Lee at Kontoor Brands. Let's welcome Jenny. Wow. And then we would like to invite Joe Poon, Senior Consultant of Reset Carbon Limited. Let's welcome Joe. The topic of their conversation is Life Cycle Assessment Workshop, and I'll pass the time to two of you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jenny. I'm working in design and development for Lee Brands in Asia Pacific. All my experiences come from brands and retail in Asia, where I have developed my passion on the consumer-centric design and also all these innovation projects we have in Lee. So my denim journey was started when I got to know the fascinating denim heritage and also discovered the denim actually as more than a 5-pocket jeans. So since then, I have decided to stay with denim for my career. Thank you. Joe? can you tell about what's your background?
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. So yeah, I'm Joe. I'm the senior consultant at Reset Carbon. I have been at Reset Carbon for like 6 years, and our mission is to help other companies to reduce their environmental impact, in particular about the climate change issue. Like we will provide advisory service to companies and provide support, implementation support to, like, for example, establish carbon inventory for companies, help them set a reduction target, and reduce their environmental impact throughout the journey. So we will also do a lot of like LCA project. So we help company to quantify their impact for their product. Yeah, I think, yeah. Thank you for attending for this session.
Yes, that's great. So our topic is about the LCA. So within the sustainability, we heard a lot from people from all different industries was taught a lot about LCA. So given you come from the same background, could you share with us what's that all about?
Okay, sure. So for LCA, it stands for like a life cycle assessment. So this is a scientific approach to measure the environmental impact throughout the product whole life cycle or a surface. So like for example, we will measure from each stage what is the environmental impact, such as what is the impact to global warming, water depletion or fossil fuel depletion, etc. And we will use this approach to understand from which stage of a product what is their environmental impact, so that we can identify the improvement area. For example, we will, if we want to do a LCA, we will need to start with defining the objective and also this boundary. And there is two types of boundary you can set. Usually there will be one called cradle-to-grave, which means you will cover the raw material extraction stage to the manufacturing stage. So the gate, it means the facility gate. So you will capture the whole carbon footprint for manufacturing that product, including the raw material part. And there will be also a cradle-to-grave stage, which also extend the boundary to also customer usage and also end-of-life disposal of the product. So it covers the whole life cycle impact. And after we define the boundary and goals, we need to collect the relevant data and use that data to quantify for the impact. And we can then share the result and input, do some analysis to understand where is the hotspot of the impact. Understand the trade-off between carbon emissions or water footprint of a product if we use different process to manufacture the product.
Yes, sounds a lot. Right? It also sounds very important in a sustainable journey. It's one of part of the important components. Yeah.
Yep. So Jenny, I understand we have actually collaborated before. Very long time ago, we started this LCA study very early. So back in 2013, we have done a project with you on this LCA. Can you tell us more about that project?
Yeah, sure, definitely. The project we have in 2013, but when we say talk about this, share the our experience, actually is interesting in front of the project owner, David Cheng. When he was working in Lee, he was the project owner and he was my boss. He bring these ideas to the brand, and I was the one that to make it happen. So Lee, actually the project is Lee We Think. So this is the first project we have putting our focus on sustainability. Back in the 2011, when we start getting the idea and develop the projects. So back in 2011, around that period of time, the topic is about global warming, climate change, and sustainability become a huge global issue. And consumers had raised their concern about what impacts that product made to the environment. So in Lee, we have looked at how we make jeans, and we think of how we can make it better to the environment. And also, we would like to raise the awareness in Asia. So that's how we come up the ideas of develop a new We-Think project in Asia. So, but when we started, but we think about it and we don't know how to get started. And we don't have experience to define our product was more sustainable than the conventional. That's how we led us to a collaboration with Carbon, we set Carbon for the for the project, and also got to know LCA is such a great system to measure our products in the sustainable journey.
So
Yes,
like,
that's how we get started and know each other.
yeah, and like, so for this LCA project, what do you achieve it? Like, what insight do you get from this LCA study, and how do you use this insight?
So that was an interesting learning, and I would say as a designer, and I learned a lot from the in the projects. So at the beginning, it was hard to decide where to get started and what to do at the beginning because it seems too big. And the complexity in the supply chain process. But when we work with the Reset Carbon, we got to know the LCA. So the beauty of LCA is allows you to break down, to look at, I would say, to look at the entire product life cycle and break down into the key areas, such as like cotton crop, dyeing, water, energy usage. So with that data, since then we can make decisions at the design stage around the material choices, the laundry technologies, and water, energy we bring this, how can we make the decisions. So we look at all that, and at the design, we come up with design solutions on how we can reduce our carbon footprint on our products. So that's the project. That's how we learn it. So I would say at the result of the saving, that we can communicate with in the market with how we what we has been achieved it, and how much we're saving, and in the market. So, and we have the great things I would say in the working with the LCA. The great thing is we can keep monitor and keep measure and look at the data, compare season after seasons, and monitor our progress and make sure we have consistent improvement in the process. So that is the great thing also we can take from the LCA as a brand. And for myself, I think my key takeaway is I realized that designer actually we are not just about can do the nice collections. We can do far more than bringing the fashion trend and styles. In fact, we are one of the key stakeholders in the product life cycle who can make positive impact to the environments. That's my key learning and takeaway in the project.
That's very, yeah, I think we can see a lot of benefits like in the LCA study, and it seems to be a very comprehensive project because you need to look across the different stages from like cotton growing to like the textile manufacturing part. So it's really comprehensive and maybe complicated. Do you face any challenges throughout the project in the LCA study?
Definitely, I would say at the beginning, and you can imagine when we start is 2011, 2012, is 10 years ago in Asia. So I would say we start pretty much pioneer in this area at that time. So I would say the biggest challenge is finding the like-minded partner and who share the same values and having the long-term environmental visions, take it into the real actions, invest time, effort, working together on a common goal. So I'm not talking about just one partner, because we have to look at the entire product life cycle. It's all about, it's every stage in the supply chain. But I would say we are lucky that we have all these good partners willing to work in the common goal. So for example, we partner with the BCI versus the conventional cotton. And also we use the indigo, we use the recycled indigo from Dye2, and fabric we made from the advanced denims. So that was the big, huge, I would say, as a designer, I learned a lot from the supply chain, because designer normally got no idea about what's product life cycle, supply chain, all this process. So I remember we worked with advanced denim at that time, 10 years ago. It's about huge setting. We need to reset the dyeing machine, you know, the giant dyeing machine, because we use the recycled indigo, because we need to add the membrane between the yarns and indigo so that we can easily separate the indigo, collect the indigo, and keep recycling it, using it in the dyeing process. That was the great learning to me, I would say. And then we also work on the supplier on the recycle the colors. Remember at that time, we work on the fabric mill for the jersey, that we recycle the colors from the manufacturing waste, like from cutting table, from the manufacturing waste, but we separate by colors, like red, gold, yellow, green, that we don't need to re-dye the whole bunch of fabrics. And recycle indigo as well, recycle denim indigo as well, and we work on the laser finishing, of course, and ozone definitely at that moment. And also we look at the low impact chemical to work on that. And also in the design team, as I mentioned, we come up with design solutions. We look at all these trims and thread and all these packagings. Like we remove all the rivets to reduce the metal use on the jeans. And also we use the recycled paper. And the beauty is we just use as a raw color to avoid the bleaching and the printing process. And also we use all these recycled PET bottle, for example, in the collections. So that is the huge process and a lot of challenging and learning. I would say the garment was made by Crystal Group. I remember my experience when I was rushing and preparing for the sketch review as a designer, but a call from Reset Carbon and asking me they need to install a meter in the steaming process to calculate the steam, water, and also the energy saving. So I would say, you will do it if you care. So that's why we put down the sketches, and I call Crystal Group about that. So this, I would say, this is the big challenge, the biggest challenge to finding the like-minded partner in your projects. And also, I would say another challenging is about the education. The internal education is crucial to the project. Think about designer, they making decisions to the product every day, right? So educate them, letting them know about the why and how important to making the sustainable project and sustainable product, and also letting them know about what impact they can make between the design choices they can do. And I think that is the crucial. So that's why when the project start, the kick-off, actually we kick off by internal training, where we invite the external expertise and the people, they have the experience in launching and develop sustainable projects. That was the big learning to me. So, but I think everyone, when you introduce the new LCA, no matter for the brand or for the company, I think they will have some, more or less, some challenge. Joe, do you hear from your other partner, they have the same or different challenges?
Yeah, I want to first I really agree what you mentioned, like finding my partner, and also education is really important and also really a big challenge to achieve a success for the LCA. Actually, not just for LCA, but also for all other sustainability issues. These two pieces are always the key things to be able to achieve the goal. So for other challenges, I think what we observe is usually it's really difficult to get the data. I think data is one big issue because you need to collaborate with all the different stakeholders, and they may not have the data in hand. We need to ask the factory to install a meter to record the data, but it adds the cost for them, so not many factories would like to do that. So getting data is one big challenge, but we need to find a way to overcome that. And I think actually recent year, I think because Jenny is talking about 10 years ago, yeah, the challenge will be very, very big, but I think for now it seems to be getting better. I think one reason is because more people are concerning about the sustainability issue for now. So brands are also really getting criticism when they are not doing enough, taking enough actions to their decarbonize or to do their sustainability things. So with this in mind, I think a lot of brands are now working together. They form a lot of collaboration to build a common expectation, to build a common tools, to request their suppliers to do better things. So with this collaboration, there will be a larger joint power to push the demand to the suppliers, and also we can build a more common and holistic standard to drive the change. So now I think it's maybe easier for nowadays to do this, collect data from suppliers, expect the suppliers to do more energy efficiency or even install renewable energy in their factories. So I think this is one changes we can observe in this. And yeah, so the challenge is the challenge is now also being easier to fix.
Yes, I definitely, I think the sustainability is one of the, I believe in every brand, every company, this will be one of the most important goals to achieve. So that's why we can see over the years, there's technologies and innovation has been developed and in place, right? So say in the LCA, that will be, what will be the latest trend in the LCA system? What will be the latest trend?
Yeah, I observe one thing nowadays is I think greenwashing is a big issue. So company not intended to do greenwashing. So greenwashing means they try to promote their product, saying the product is green, but actually it may not be the actual case. So a lot of brands don't intentionally do the greenwashing, but because they may not be able to provide enough evidence to support their product claim. This will become criticized by some NGOs or even the government will say this is greenwashing and you cannot make this product claim. This is quite a big challenge for companies. They want to do good things, but they are also afraid to report what they have done because they are afraid of getting this criticism. So I think the LCA, there are many LCA rules developing, trying to make this more standardized. Like the EU, Europe. In Europe, they also create a product environmental footprint rules. So to try to add the rules to like specify what are the requirements if you want to do a LCA study, if you want to make your product claim, how you should do it, what is the data requirement, and how you can communicate your environmental benefits to the public. I think this is one changes nowadays, because now people are more focused on like avoiding getting criticism about greenwashing. So they need to really follow the standard and try to make it more credible. And I think another trend I can observe is also because the sustainability issue become like top priority in many companies now. And also climate change, we can observe is really like getting closer and closer. I think you should experience in this September, you will feel very hot, even though it's like the summer should be like towards the end, but you can still feel very, very hot. So climate change is an issue, and people are focusing on that. And there is a science-based target initiative requesting companies to like commit to a target to really do actions to reduce their carbon footprint. And because of this commitment, many brands are committed to reduce their impact in their product really seriously. So they need to use LCA as a tool to, for example, identify the hotspot, or to demonstrate their product is actually like manufacturing in a low carbon way, so that they are trying to meet the goals. So we observe a lot of more demands on asking us to do a LCA project to demonstrate their product are better than the others, are more green and low carbon.
Well, I believe that more and more it will be on board, and more it will be using through the LCA. We got the data more scientific to see the product in a different perspective as well. So I think that's what we share our project, and also about the LCA and the update on the LCA for today. So let's see what will be the questions from the audience and online.
Okay, we have a question over there. Let's give her a mic.
Good morning. I'm very active yesterday as well. Thank you so much for the talk and the insight. My only concern is, it's fantastic if you have a huge company and advanced and crystal groups behind you. What about the small and medium enterprises? They really struggle. We try to do good, living wages, or minimum wages, we do all the benefits, we do all of this, and the life cycle assessment, there are certain procedures and processes which are, common sense, which should actually be implemented in every company. But then you also have to get certificates, and small and medium enterprises, they just don't have the funds for this. So it's fantastic, and I always try to, push the smaller companies towards the sustainability goal as well. But it's so expensive to actually get to a certain level where you actually accept it and you can actually be part of the whole community. Any thoughts?
So you mean with the small? You mean your question is
Factory.
about the small production, how we do with the cost, right? I think the project we have, as I mentioned, that was 10 years ago. Actually, I would say yes. Even at that moment, our brand is, when we compare the cost from making our product more sustainable, because that's with all different process we have to get in place, and also versus the conventional that was everywhere you can make. Yes, definitely it was difference, and it will see the difference on the cost. Yes, we are good at, because we can absorb that extra cost from other areas that make it neutral. But I would say from now is 10 years now, like 10 years later, I can see more and more, even you are bigger or smaller, that's definitely is the future to move, right? And I believe that is all about supply and demand. So if more and more people look into a more sustainable, that means more and more demand that from the more sustainable, like low impact chemical and the low impact process, that demand definitely will bring down the cost at some day. Yes, we are in the transforming transition period that we might pay a certain cost in extra, but think about what cost you bring to the environment. That I think that definitely is far more than you pay in the money. So I would say this definitely a long-term vision that if everyone in here that we all believe. If we don't work on that, make it in a big demand, that there was no way to bring down the cost. So that is my learning. Yes, we might suffer at this moment, but if you don't suffer, there was no future. That's what I learned. Thank you for the question. Thank you. Oh, the project owner asked me a question that scared me.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Florian Schneider from Yellow Crank. My question is following up on the previous question. So a life cycle assessment is on product basis. But there's a lot of insights and knowledge and methods and tools and so on that apply to all denim products. Right? For example, the assessment of cotton, of certain dyeing method, and so on. So would a brand like Lee or a company like Kontoor be willing to share their data and their insights that have with the wider community so that other smaller companies that can't afford to do those full assessments, that they are able to use that data?
Yes, as a Kontoor, I think we made our commitment in certain areas, and we do keep updating where we are time by time. We did 5 different commitments, but if you talk about the LCA in certain area like cotton, water, and energies, so I would say at this moment, because we are in different regions, like, with different region, different team, and different peoples, we are working on the globalized that message on these communications, I would say. But at Kontoor level, as corporations, we did share where we have achieved this. But if you're asking and looking for more detailed data, that may be at this moment we are not having work on it. But definitely, I don't think this is any secret. To be honest, this is not a secret. This is definitely we can work together because everyone is in the same direction, everyone in the same boat. So I believe that there was no reason that we need to hide anything. Thank you for your questions. My project owner.
Hey, it's okay, Jenny, my question's not for you. I've got much tougher ones for you later on. So it's really clear we have a climate emergency. It's really clear that our industry needs to have change, and that's why we're doing Denim Futures this week. The United Nations have really set their sustainability goals. Governments have agreed to reset the carbon use to pre-industrial levels, and companies are all setting science-based goals. That's all great, but it's kind of the people in this room that really have to reach those goals. How can a company like Reset Carbon help companies get to the science-based goals that they've set? And can a life cycle assessment be done on any kind of product or any kind of process? So it's really for you, Joe.
Thank you for your question. And yeah, let me use this chance to promote our company. I think, yeah, really thank you for asking this question. So Reset Carbon, so how we help company to meet their science-based goal. I think the first step is really to help them understand what are the options to achieve that goal. So usually we will do some quantitative analysis to help them understand like how their emissions will like grow like in the business as usual scenario, and then we will try to project what they need to do in order to hit the science-based target. Because the science-based target will be like an absolute emissions amount requested for the company to meet. So this can be achieved through like energy efficiency improvement or procurement of renewable energy, etc. So once we can do, after we have conducted this quantitative analysis and see where is the area you can add on, we will build up a roadmap for you, and then we will also, actually we usually form a long-term partnership with our clients. So after we set up this strategy, we also support them to achieve this journey. Like we have engineers who can go on site to identify the actual energy efficiency improvement opportunities, and like calculate like payback period and show them like actually there is benefit to do this kind of improvement, and not just for emissions perspective, but also like its business economic benefit for the companies. So they will be able to actually implement those actions, and we will also help them to identify, select the renewable energy that they can procure. There are many options on-site and off-site, and we can help them evaluate which options will be the best suitable for them. So with this implementation support, we really help clients to really achieve their goal. And for LCA, it's a tool to really identify, using a product, to really see like where is the hotspot throughout their manufacturing process, so that we can really focus on that hotspot and prioritize the actions in those hotspots and drive the changes. So LCA is a tool for like identify the hotspot, and also a tool to measuring the result and so that they can publish the result and like justify that they have like doing better things in like in the manufacturing process.
Thank you. If I add on top of your points, actually LCA is not just all about measuring. They will provide the advice to how to bring down the carbon footprint and saving. For example, in our project, we are working with BCI, for example. They will check with you about what is your production base and where you're making the fabrics. Then they will give you advice where you should buy from your raw cotton, like from Brazilian or African or China, for example. They will give you advice to how to bring down from your supply chain. So it's actually, to me, it's not just all about the measure. It's also about the professional advices they will give to you. That's my sharing. Yeah. Any more
questions from our live audience? If not, thank you once again to Jenny and Joe. Let's give them a round of applause. Please stay seated off stage. Thank you very much.